and it just cements itself as this thing you must see, even though it's not that cool, really.
Hi, good morning. It is day 44, and we are currently still in Krabi, Thailand. What we are trying to do today is go to the Phi Phi Islands. We booked a tour, and we are currently waiting for them. I'm like a little terrified they forgot about us. Hopefully they will be here any minute to pick us up, and I can take you along and show you what that is like. We've definitely been waiting for a while, and my paranoia is very high. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be worth it. It's all gonna work out.
When we first arrived at the meeting point to go to the boats, Bran and I were just experiencing cruise excursion flashbacks. We did not really like how most of those were run. They were so fast. You just sort of ran up, take a picture, and go on to the next thing. Not really the thing that Bran and I enjoy doing while we're traveling. At first, we were just super concerned. Like, what did we sign up for? Did we just spend this money for a bunch of random pictures and to stand on a crowded beach? Our tour was fairly packed, and many, many other people are taking the exact same tour today. So we were pretty worried. But honestly, I've totally eaten my words. We really had a fantastic time. We go to the first spot, and it's this beautiful beach. It is very crowded. I wish we could have stayed there longer. I had to just accept the fact that I'm on a tour, I don't get to make the calls, and I should just chill out and enjoy even the 45 minutes we have at a beautiful place. Once I started leaning into it and just not fretting about the time constraint so much, I really started to enjoy the day more. Once I got over myself, it was great. And a few more stops that we went to were even better. We got to snorkel at the next stop, and I've actually not snorkeled a lot before. We went on another island tour a few weeks ago, and I got a little bit of experience there. It was nice to try that again and have more time and be in a place that had even more fish. It was very cool just being surrounded by them. I'd find a really cool fish and I'd follow it around, and then it would lead me to a bunch of other fish. It felt kind of like viewing your own personal nature documentary. And that was really one of my favorite things we did the whole day. We then went to Monkey Island, which is a place that they do not let you dock at. I think in the past they had too many issues with tourists interacting with the monkeys and monkeys stealing things like food, backpacks, passports. I get it, they don't want anyone on there, and that's fine. I'm not really trying to get up close and personal with monkeys anyway. I think it's great to view them at a safe distance. But I can tell it's one of those things where they have people go there, and very often you don't even see any monkeys at all. We saw one lone monkey. It's so weird having all these boats crowding around this one monkey that's just living its life, trying to chill and eat a snack, and everyone's just taking photos of it like it's the red carpet or something. That was a tourist experience I could have skipped for sure, and it was super short. So I much would have preferred to not do that and have spent more time like swimming at the first beach or something. And then we move on to lunch. Because the food at the last tour we went on got us very sick, we decided to skip lunch at this tour. Now, it was probably fine. The food didn't look super sketch or anything. It didn't look like it was gonna be super tasty, but it looked fine, it looked safe enough. But we just did not want to roll the dice. We just packed our own snacks and ate those. I don't know, we're just too traumatized from getting sick. And instead of eating at the buffet, we actually went to a cafe nearby, and that was so nice. It was more open, breezy, and the coffee wasn't actually more expensive than we found in the Ao Nang area, which I really expected that to be so much worse. The coffee was great. We really enjoyed just having a quieter, more chilled out vibe. And then we moved on to our next activity. So we cram back on the boat and we head over to another like photo opportunity. It's called Viking Cave, and honestly, again, could have skipped this one. You go by, you don't do too much, you take some pictures and you move on. They don't allow people to go inside the cave. It really makes sense that the Thai government has come up with a lot of restrictions around Phi Phi Island. The amount of tourism has really done damage to the area, and they're just trying to make sure that they can continue to let tourists come. So you don't really get to go inside, and that's fine. I don't really think we were missing that much. I think it's just one of those things that when some view or area becomes really popular online, especially on Instagram, the more people see it, the more people want to see it and go to it. And it just cements itself as this thing you must see, even though it's not that cool, really. I mean, it's fine, but the island is so beautiful. There's plenty of other places that seem way more worth it to spend your time and even get photos of. The next spot we went to was a swimming area. This was easily my favorite thing we did the entire day. We were right up against these big limestone cliffs, and we just got to jump off the front of the boat, swim around. There were a good amount of other boats around, but it didn't feel crowded at all. Each group was kind of on their own and spaced far enough away. It didn't feel that crowded, actually. Yes, everyone that was on our ship was nearby, but it wasn't that hard to have fun and swim around and not be bumping into each other too much. And Brian and I were just having such a good time swimming around the boat, jumping off, diving off. And then there was just something incredible about swimming and looking out at this beautiful cove. It felt truly unique and magical. And I wish we could have spent like 4 hours there. I would have spent the whole trip there. That would have been so worth it. It really makes you want to be a crazy rich person and own your own boat. And then we moved on to our very last stop of the day, which was Maya Bay. This was a very famous picture spot. And again, I'm not really loving the picture spot so far on this tour. It's incredibly touristy there. There's so many people taking pictures. The beach is super crowded. You can't get in the water there. They're trying to repopulate the reef and fix the damage that's been done to Maya Bay. I think that's really great that they're pushing back on all of this and trying to let nature do its thing and actually recover properly. They also know that if they want people to keep coming back here, they need to protect this area. The rangers that work on the island, because this is a national park and protected area, those rangers kept yelling at some people for going too far into the water. And so many of these people were arguing with them, which was ridiculous because they all had like wet shorts. Your shorts should not be wet if you're in ankle deep water. So it was kind of insane to see some tourists pushing back in this way. Most people were being very respectful. It wasn't a big deal. It was still kind of nuts to see people who just didn't really care about any of that. There's many unfortunate aspects to social media, and this is one of them. This is what happens to a place that's this beautiful. Everyone comes, everyone has to get that picture, and they're just like, I'm gonna ignore all the rules in order to do it. The other picture spots we had that day, whatever, could have skipped them. This one was pretty nice. But even still, I would have traded it for more swimming time. Maybe a few other places in Japan I've been to kind of felt like this, where there were just so many people trying to get the same photo and kind of crowding the same area. But yeah, haven't experienced that many crowds like this before. And as much as I really don't love that, I can't deny the fact that we did enjoy ourselves. So that was our last stop of the day, and we headed back after that. I'm glad we went to see the islands. I just wasn't sure if it was an overhyped tourist thing. It's really touristy, but for me, it fell into the bucket of tourist things that I do also like. I've talked to people about this before, but the fact that I've lived in San Francisco for over 10 years, I've done a lot of tourist things there, right? When people come to visit, they want to go see the sights. There are some tourist things there that I will absolutely not do when people visit. But there are other tourist things that I am happy to go to. I'm happy to go again and again because they're still fun for me. It really felt like it was that second category, a touristy thing that is actually really enjoyable. Island hopping is not the cheapest activity in the world, but I'm glad we did it. If you're someone who's considering a trip to the Phuket area, Krabi area, and you're thinking about Phi Phi Islands, I hope this gives you a little bit of insight into what that's like. And if you're someone who's like me and is like, I don't love going to these overhyped tourist spots, then hopefully this can help you judge whether this is the right fit for you, whether you want to spend the money on that. If this little video helps you make a choice to either go on a tour to Phi Phi Islands or stay there for a night or not, I'd love to hear about it. And if you are someone that has already been, please let me know what you thought as well. I'd just be curious to hear if people had the same experience that we did. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Goodbye.